Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danny Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello. I know it's a bit of a funny time in Australia for me to be going live, but we've got a show that we've got the time differences again. I know we've done that before, so you guys, thank you for bearing with us on the changing of times. Before we do, welcome Brendan into the room. I just want to congratulate every single one from today's the Golden Guitar nominations. I was watching and I'm already worried about voting because there is so much talent that's been nominated this year. So congratulations to all the artists that are in the running for the Golden Guitars in January. We might welcome Brendan into the room. Hello.
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm talking to you in the past. You're at your Monday night it's 9 o'clock Monday night?
Yeah, Monday night heading into Tuesday. We're just a short while away from getting another day started. So
yes, so we're Tuesday afternoon here. So welcome. Thank you for taking the time to chat to us. I've had some people reach out, and a lot of people have been texting about you guys and what you've been doing and your music. So it's really exciting to be able to bring that to people here in Australia and let them hear what you're up to. But I know you've got a single and you're here to talk about it. Tell us a little bit about why you got into music and how your journey began, because it's a little bit different to a lot of artists.
Well, I grew up in a musical household, so music's always been there. My dad played. My mama and papa were like a gospel version of Johnny and June, traveling around to different churches. He played the guitar, she played the tambourine, and my dad learned how to play bass and guitar at an early age. And he picked up songwriting throughout the years. He's traveled with gospel groups like the Hymnsmen, the Kingsmen, all over the U.S. He's played country music in just about anywhere in the Southeast you can name, and toured around several different locations elsewhere, and even got to open up for Garth Brooks back in 1988 at a local place here called the Governor's Lounge, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, but it was back when Garth wasn't Garth, so nobody really knew who to go get an autograph from at the time. But my dad really instilled it into me at an early age. I was always hearing him sing and play and going up to the studio at my uncle's house and listening to the bands come through. And growing up, that's all I wanted to do was be like my dad. Music and baseball, that was my two passions because that were the two things he did. So I grew up chasing both. Baseball was probably at the forefront, but I was constantly singing. I did talent shows when I was young, like doing Elvis impersonations and stuff like that. So I guess me and Bruno Mars might have a little bit more in common than what I ever thought. But no, I mean, music was a passion and a hobby, and I loved it because we had a family band that we played with from 2010 all the way to 2020. But there was no avenue that I could ever really see that opened music up as something I could do professionally. You always dream about that moment where you get to have somebody come up and say, "Hey, I want to pay you to do this," but you don't know how to get to that point. And for me, it was just the same as anybody else. I did not know how to get there. But the day that all that changed, or at least started to, was when I met my beautiful wife. And I didn't know at the time I was not only going to meet my beautiful wife, but I was going to meet the two parts of my heart that I didn't know were actually missing at the time. And that was my oldest two kids, Malia and Brantley. Malia was about to turn 2. Brantley was about to be 1. And, the whole world just stopped in one instant because you go from being just a guy to a dad. And that's a whole different thing. And
that's a lot to take on. It's a lot to take on straight up.
Well, it might be a lot to take on, but you don't realize how quickly you get drawn into those little kids because they soak you in so quickly. And I got attached right off the bat, and I knew that was what I was meant to do. If I didn't do anything else, being a dad and being a husband, that was where I needed to go, because I had went to college and tried to play baseball, but baseball didn't work out. So I went from, chasing baseball to now saying, well, you've got music, but you still don't know what to do with it. So let's just go get a degree. I got the degree, went and got the good job. It took me to California, Montana, right back here to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And now I've got a wife, I've got kids. Before we get married, we already had our third son, Granger, come into the picture. So he was 6 months old, getting to ride in a little Red Rider wagon, or radio flyer wagon up to the altar with us. So that was a blessing to have your kid riding up to the wedding with you. And we got married. Everything was definitely going smooth, but most definitely unconventional. It wasn't the process you expect to go. But when she got pregnant with our fourth, I was heading to the gym one morning, and made it to the gym and headed off to work, thinking everything was going to be just fine. And I ended up getting hit by a distracted driver sitting at a red light, and he struck me head on. Got rushed to the hospital, had to have life-saving surgery. And she was, like I said, pregnant with our fourth, had 3 kids. She had to find somewhere to get them to. Quickly rushed down to the hospital. And, it's one of those moments that just kind of, it clicks. Life can be gone in the blink of an eye. And absolutely. I asked her, look, I don't get it. Why did this happen? I don't understand. Like, what, did I do something that meant this was supposed to happen? She said, you don't understand it now, but I promise you're going to. Everything happens for a reason. And, that moment kind of took me in to say, look, I've got hopes and dreams and goals that I haven't fulfilled. I haven't chased. How can I say that I'm chasing my dreams and tell my kids to do the same if I'm not actually doing it in the first place?
Yes, absolutely.
It was at that point we decided, hey, look, let's go after this music thing a little bit and see what we can't do with it, because that's something I always wanted to do. My dad had tried, but never got to that point where he had pulled it to the level he wanted to be. And she said, okay, well, if you want to do it, let's start trying. Let's get it on YouTube and Facebook, the conventional ways of trying to get music out there. And we did that, and we got a little bit of traction, started playing some solo gigs here and there. And then COVID struck, pandemic hit, the whole world got turned upside down, and everything we thought was normal was now no longer normal. And the good thing for us was everybody was sitting there looking at their phones.
Yes. Yeah.
And my wife was doing the same. She found TikTok, and when she got that out, she was like, hey, there's people promoting music. She goes, you need to get on this app and start singing songs. I was like, no. I was like,
what my reaction to TikTok was.
Exactly. It was the reaction I feel like majority of people have to the word TikTok at first. And I was like, I've seen a bunch of people doing crazy dances, trying to be funny. I was like, I got 2 left feet and dad jokes. Yep. All I got. Yep. It's not going to work out for me. But she was persistent and stayed on me about it, and finally had me cornered in the car. We were on our way back from a Father's Day trip from Pigeon Forge. And she said, hey, look, I don't care what you sing. I'm pulling out my phone. I'm recording you. Just sing.
Yeah.
So I did. And I sang whatever songs came to mind. I think I sang Conway Twitty and a few of my own stuff. And the next night, I'm trying to grab a water out of the fridge, and she comes running up behind me. Baby, sing Brad Paisley, sing Dierks Bentley, sing Chris Stapleton.
I love that video. Yes.
That was the one that kind of kick-started it all, because I just did what I was told. I was like, okay, I'll sing these artists. And the next day, she was like, hey, look, I've been posting all this to TikTok. And she was like, look, the first few videos, they got a few hits, but this one's got 1,600 views. Yeah. I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I was like, most of my Facebook stuff never gets above 200 or 300 views, let alone 1,600. Yeah. And I was like, give me the login info. I want to check. I just want to look at this stuff. I'm kind of intrigued. And I opened it up, and it had been a few hours. And I said, hey, that video you said was at 1,600 is at 20,000. And we both kind of freaked out, and let alone it went from 20,000 to in the millions. within just a day to a few days, and we went from no followers to, within a month, I think we had 300,000, and to
Isn't
me,
it
that was
crazy?
mind blowing.
Yeah. 300,000 people. Like,
Exactly.
it's
And
huge. Yeah.
all the comments and people saying they wanted to hear more, they wanted to hear original music.
Yeah.
She said, "Look, this is our chance. This is your
Yeah.
springboard. If you want to go after this, we need to get it right now, head it off, and just run with
Yep.
it." And that's
Door was
what we
open.
did.
The
And if
door
it
was
weren't for
open.
her pushing me all that way, who knows if I'd be sitting here talking to you right now, because it's a blessing and a half, not only to have all of this take off, but to have someone like her that is, even when you might not have the drive, someone that's supporting you enough to say, "Look, you got this.
Yeah.
We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep going through. Let's get to the next step." So that's been the best part.
I think, especially here in Australia, I think a lot of the successful artists and the successful music careers, you look and they've got this amazing prop behind them of family and friends pushing them through. And I honestly think it's the reason that most artists have their success, because they've got that backing behind the scenes, which is when you need it. Because on the stage, under the lights, performing, it's only a very small part of it, isn't it? It's the whole, you
Better
know,
believe it.
yeah, it's the whole thing. It's the package that you need to be successful.
I like to joke and say that she is the brains and I am the voice, which I guess is not so much of a joke, more than a fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, trust me, if I didn't have her in my corner and helping me trudge through all this and make it happen every day, then there's no telling where this would be. But thankfully, I do have her right there, and we've managed to reach so many people with this, and it continues to grow every day. And thankfully it's because we're connecting with people through these songs, and I've had so many people reach out that have showed their connection with the songs, and that's the best part. If you can take your music and make somebody feel something, then to me that's what makes it worth it.
Exactly. I always think, if we can reach one person, you've made a difference, haven't you? It's amazing to be able to do that. And yeah, in a world where it almost sort of changed the whole music industry with COVID and all these online platforms. And for some people it didn't help, but for those that have really got in behind, and it's working amazingly. So I don't think it's going to go away. I think this is going to how we go forward. We're going to be a lot more of an online presence, which is good. People can get to it that aren't near you to go to a show. They can still see a show. They can still see you sing. And I think that's really good to be able to do that as well. Beth has popped in and she said hello, but she did have to go because she actually does interviews as well. So she's popped in to say hi, and she's headed off again already.
Well, I'm glad you popped in.
So I know that, your music career, as you said, it's gone from, at home singing with the family to crazy now. Are you still working, or are you on the road? What are you doing?
Thankfully, the Lord has finally gave me the opportunity to leave all the 9-to-5 business behind. Here about a month ago, I put that to bed and signed a deal with Big Yellow Dog Music, and now singing, writing songs, and playing shows and recording all this stuff is finally what I get to do and enjoy as my job, if you want to call it that.
How scary was that? Finally, giving up your career and going straight into music.
Oh, it scared me to death.
Yeah.
Because you go from what you know is something that's kind of a guarantee. Like I know
Safe.
I went to college for this.
Yeah.
I'm safe where I'm at. This is something that I can count on week to week.
Yeah.
To saying, look, now my career is in the hands of making sure that people actually enjoy listening to my music. You put your career in the hands of how many fans you've got, and hope that you can keep a good relationship with all of them and keep growing. And thankfully we have an amazing fan base of just loyal, beautiful people that have given us nothing but love. And it's so amazing to see that you're blessed like that.
It's just lovely. It's a lovely story, and watching you guys grow as you have, it's been really good to see. And to have a family that is so supportive and so caring, it's really nice to see that as well. And them you can see that they know they're part of it and that they're enjoying it. I've seen you put videos up of your children and your wife, and it's just lovely to see. So you're about to release a Christmas song at the end of the week. 26, I think. Friday the 26th, is that right?
Yes,
so yeah. That's your time. So it'd be Saturday our time. Friday the 26th, you are releasing One More Christmas Eve. What was your reason for doing a Christmas song? Because that's not something that a lot of artists do. So it's a nice different.
Okay, so this song, I didn't write it this year. I actually wrote this song, Lord, back in it's either 2016 or 2015. But there was a broadcast from a local news station that made it to Yahoo, and I was watching the video, and they had this Santa Claus that was all dressed up, and they were asking him, what he was doing for the holidays, and he said, "Well, I've been traveling around to different hospitals with cancer patients, and these little kids, I've been asking all these kids what they want for Christmas." He said most of them give you the typical answer. They say, "Oh, well, I want a bike," or I want a game system, I want to go on such and such trip. And he's like, they might have this tragic thing going on, but they're still kids. They want what kids want majority of the time. He said, but I went into one little kid's room and I said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And the kid just looked at me and said, "All I want for Christmas is to be able to live to see another Christmas Eve with my mommy and daddy."
Wow.
Santa Claus was on the TV crying, and I'm sitting there crying, and I thought this has to be a story that told somehow, some way. I was like, and the only way I know to do it is put it in the song.
Wow.
So that's exactly what I did. I played it for several years here locally, and finally this year we had the prime opportunity to get a Christmas song together before the holidays, with releases for the rest of the year kind of wrapping up. And I talked to a buddy of mine named Jacob Frisch, who's been a huge part of so many of our songs so far. I said, "Look, do you think you can help me pull this thing together?" And I sent it to him. He said, "I can do this for you." He said, "But you're going to have to give me a little extra time." He said, "Because I'm sitting here crying, man."
Yeah. How do you perform this? This is giving me goosebumps.
So he got a gorgeous track back to us, and I'm so excited to be able to share this with the world, because it's just a story that I think kind of reels in the fact that at the end of the day, whatever you want for Christmas, whether it be, toys or gift cards, or the big thing is we're all getting to be together. We're all getting to come together at Christmas and enjoy each other's company. And what I like about this song is that it's kind of speaking to some of the selflessness. It's speaking to the fact that sometimes all we need is each other. We don't need a whole bunch of other stuff. And that's the message I want to kind of bring across with this thing, is just to enjoy each other and love each other, and remember that Christmas is a time just for that, and thanking God for everything that we've got in the process.
It's such a beautiful message, and it's something that we do forget because we get so busy in everyday life. We're just so lucky to still be here for this Christmas, and if we're here for next, luck can run out, so we need to make the most of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Well,
I'll play you a little bit of it.
I was going to say, I know you're sitting there with your guitar. Would you like to do a song? I can give you the room if you like, and everyone can enjoy you singing. I'll see you shortly.
Play a short bit of One More Christmas Eve here.
Okay, I'll give you the room.
So, folks, this is a song called One More Christmas Eve. This is going to be coming out November 26th. So make sure and get ready to download this thing. It'll be on all streaming platforms. And for anyone out there listening, I do wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Thanksgiving. And let's get into this song. The trees are all lit up, snow is on the ground, carolers sing jingle bells, Santa comes to town. The holidays are meant to be a time of peace and joy, but the pain with a different hue at the bedside of a boy. And Christmas only came for him 5 times in his life. The chemo stole the smile away and the joy from his eyes. His mama, she would pray to God, reach down your healing hand. My husband's fighting overseas, I can't lose my little man. And he says, Mama, don't you worry, I know just what to do. I wrote Santa Claus a letter, and I know that he'll pull through. I told him to bring Daddy home to be with you and me, and asked him if he'd help me stick around for one more Christmas Eve.
Thank you so much. And that's the hardest part about when you're doing it live. You don't get to hear the crowd, but I know everybody is cheering that was listening. That is such a beautiful song. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now, that song is up for pre-order or pre-save at the moment. Where can people do that?
If you go to any of our social media, you can find a bold beacon link listed on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can also hear the song if you want. There's an acoustic version early up on YouTube, so feel free to go and find it there as well. But you can also search it on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, any of those platforms, and you'll be able to pre-save, pre-add, or pre-order.
Wonderful. So when we're finished here, make sure you head over and do that, and we might try and share one of the links onto the page when we're finished as well, so that you can find it there as well. Tell us, I know we've kept you talking for so long, but you've been on tour. Are you heading out on the road next year, or have you finished touring for the year? What do you got up?
We've got a few more stops, some local and some that are a little out of our way. We're trying to head down towards Florida this year in December. We have got some local shows here in Chattanooga this week, and I'm actually going to slide in here because I'm a lot better knowing what I'm looking at when I'm looking at it. I don't misspeak. Let's see.
What did we do before phones?
You know, I used to wonder that because I had a flip phone that didn't have anything, and I used to think I was just fine, but I guess I wasn't nearly as busy at the time either.
That is true.
But I've got a lot of local shows coming up. I will be in Chattanooga the 24th, 26th, and December 3rd. We'll be heading to Pensacola, Florida on December the 5th. We'll be playing down at the Snowball Derby. And
that sounds fun.
Then we'll be, I think that kind of wraps it up for the year, aside from some local stuff. But we will be launching a brand new tour schedule that will be mapping out the upcoming year. I don't know if we're launching that at the end of this month or in December, but before the end of the year, there will be a brand new tour schedule mapped out, showing everywhere we're going to be starting January 2022. And we're hitting up pretty much anywhere we can drive or fly to. So looking forward to it.
If there's somewhere you can think of that you want them to head, maybe it'd be a good idea to shoot messages through now so they know where to head.
Yes, indeed. Anyone who has anywhere they're wanting us to play, we are always open to giving quotes out, to letting y'all know where we can come. If you've got a spot, we're more than happy to try and get out there.
How amazing. 12 months ago you were working through the week and now you're on the road and looking for more and more shows. It's just a really lovely story.
Mind-blowing. I will be straight up honest. It is mind-blowing, and it's a blessing. When you wake up and you get to call what you love work, it's a blessing, because now I get a lot more time with kids, especially during the week. And me and the wife are finally working together, even though sometimes we might work against each other just a hair. because we
You'd
figured
mix
out.
it up a bit.
Oh yeah, me and her figured out we're the exact same person. So we're both trying to always make sure we're ahead of the game, and I'm telling you, she is the strongest individual that I've ever seen when it comes to her will to get something done and her drive to make sure it happens.
It sounds like you have had a life of luck. You really have. You've just lucked out in all areas. It's so lovely. Well deserved by the sound of it.
I can't say that I'm one that deserved it, but I'm thankful for everything that's come our way.
It's wonderful to hear. Now, before we head off again, you're on TikTok. What do we need to search on TikTok to find you?
On TikTok or Instagram, either one, it's Brandon Davis _music. If you go to Facebook and YouTube, it's just Brandon Davis. And same on all streaming platforms. Just search Brandon Davis and she'll be able to pull us right up.
Excellent. That is just wonderful. So head over there and give it a like. And have you been to Australia? Have you been down here before?
I have not, but I have got to make my way down there because I have had too many people tell me how beautiful it is down there, and I'm honestly just curious myself because it's a place I've only seen in movies.
Yes.
So I've got to make my way down there to get my real life experience. I finally made it to Hawaii for the first time in my life this past week, so now I got to start my UK trip.
Yes, you've got so much to do, but I tell you what, down here, you won't want to go home. It's just beautiful. We've got so much to offer. So come down, we'll do some shows, and we'll get you out to see some of the interesting things we have here.
Let's do it. I'm down for it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time. I know it's getting fairly late at night. So thank you very much. We will hopefully see you again in the new year when you're releasing an EP and more music and more tours. So hopefully we can have you back.
Absolutely. Yeah, we should have a new EP coming hopefully by the end of January 2022. Looking very much forward to that because there's so many good songs.
Yes.
And this definitely, I hope, is not the last time we get to talk with y'all. So I'm looking forward to the next time.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I know we're at different times, but when we do these international ones, we have to try and fit in so that everyone's awake. Thank you again. And we will see you very soon. Have a wonderful Christmas. And stay safe.
Same to you, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Well,
yeah, we don't
Thanksgiving
do
on
Thanksgiving down here. It's something we should think of, I think. Yes.
Okay. Anyway,
well,
have a happy Christmas.
You too. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you again very soon. We haven't got it playing. Just one moment. We'll try the outro again.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.